All right. Welcome back, everybody. We are back to Laguna Woods Lawn Bowling Club for the 2025 Southwest Open, and we're here with day two of the women's singles. We had one game that we showed you earlier today in the third flight quarter, and now we're going to have a second flight, one of our second flight semifinals between Janice Bell and Melanie Vizenor. They're just finishing up their second trial end, and Mary Thompson is good enough to be our marker. And our thank you to Arrow Bowls USA for sponsoring our live streaming this week. Thank you all for watching and listening. Much appreciated. If you're thinking about it, you could drop us a like and a subscription. That would help us tremendously. But thank you to Arrow Bowls because it makes it more appealing for Arrow Bowls. So Arrow Bowls, same line every time. In the booth here, got Steve Nermontes on the cameras, Gary Barnes, producer, doing the technical aspect, and I'm Scott Roberts. Also had some nice setup help this morning from Gary Hiltunen, Sheila Conti, and Joe Nermontes to get us all set up this morning. We had the inevitable gremlins to start with, but they magically resolved themselves, and we have no issues now. So credit to our technical staff here. So yesterday, the ladies played 4 qualifying games to 14 points over 5 rounds. These ladies that were here were both 3-1 yesterday and managed to be in the championship flight, but unfortunately lost their first match today, which put them in the second flight. So in their second flight semifinal. If they win, they'll play in the final. And we're playing to 18 points. And then once this game is done, we'll have the championship final will be the main event this afternoon. The 4 players that are still in the championship flight are Rose Selby, who beat Melanie Vizenor, Julia Gallo, who beat Janice Bell here, Ann Nunes, who beat Trisha Kwan, and Susie Houston, who beat Joanne Hedgepeth. So it's quite the group of ladies there, and no real surprises from that group of solid people. And then just on the outside was Mary Spees, who was the 9th seed, and she won our first that third flight quarter that we had earlier today. So ladies are just finishing up their trials, and then we'll be getting this one underway. I think Melanie and Rose had the longest game on the green. I think they had at least 2 more ends than everybody else. I think I spoke to Melanie very briefly, and she said that she was kind of down big early. I think I want to say like 11-4 or something, and then came roaring back. And I think there was more than a few ones in that one because it went a fairly long amount of time. But then Rose took it in the end with a pretty solid last end. So both of these ladies have Team USA experience. Again, my understanding Janice Bell is the most highest decorated Bulls USA player of all time, more medals than any other American ever. Melanie Vizenor was part of our 2018 sweep of U.S. over Canada, the NAC. Both these ladies were right here at Laguna Woods. And getting the flyover from the helicopters. Hopefully they're done with the jackhammering behind us. They're resurfacing. They're tearing up the pool, resurfacing, which is right on the other side of the green here for at Laguna Woods. I don't think I was hearing things. Both Steve and Gary assured me they really were jackhammering and it wasn't just a noise in my head. All right, so the trials are done. We'll be getting started with the first bowls. Right. Let's see who's going to be going first here. We did have kind of this morning haze out with the cloud cover, but that is was starting to burn off towards the end of the game, and it was long gone now. Just a few wispy clouds, so it hasn't been too warm, and the surface can get really hot. But it's only about 70 degrees Fahrenheit here, so it should still be pretty reasonable on the green. All right, Janice, rolling the jack, getting underway. Yeah, kind of I'd say about a medium length, maybe short medium. Get Janice kind of with that extra, like an extra yard of the mat, just about a yard past the tee. She's come up pretty short with that first one. A little more. Now zoom just. And these two ladies know each other very well. Both been playing for a while. All right, here's Mel. She's got her tricolor balls here. A little long, but a better opener than Janice is. I'm sure Janice will be much closer with this one. Yeah. This is a pretty good recovery there. Maybe a yard through is all. See if Melanie can take the proper weight off, just a couple yards. It took off a little more than that. She's at least a yard short, by more like 5 feet. Janice doesn't need to do too much different from her second one. Yeah, real nice there. Great adjustment, great ball. He's thinking about it, but she's gonna stick with the forehand. Might have been a decent time to change there. I think they can. She's played the forehand. She's gonna stick with it and just see if she can come up to her own or go around it. I got to be pressing. Got to have some weight here. Just slipped around, but she gets in for second shot for sure. Pretty good ball. Janice doesn't seem too concerned with the back. Not a lot of danger there. She probably just wants to draw another one similar to her third. I think she's done that. Just coming right off it, gets it a little closer and keeps in for second shot. That's very well done. Melanie could afford. It's interesting to see. I'm guessing she was a little nice and positive in the last one, so I think she might want to do that again and be underneath her own bull this time. And she could take it all the way back for two or get rid of the shot ball, but I think she's come a little too narrow. Yeah, just missed it. But you could see she was very aggressive there. There'll be two for Janice, I'm sure. Yeah, two it is. So Janice gets the first two in the match. All of a sudden got the sneezes. And a guy I used to work with who actually was allergic to like the sun when it first came out, like if it was ever raining or cloudy or something, and then if the sun came out and he'd see it, then he'd start sneezing. All right, here's Janice. Again, more of a medium long here, much longer than the last one, and she's pretty short with this first bull. It's probably a healthy 2 yard short there. So the ladies from the first game, when I had a chance to talk to them, said that they were doing a steady dose of backhand on this rake, and back just kind of going around the clock, backhand, 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 and only doing forehand when forced. They said they were just really struggling to find the line. So you saw both of them going backhand. So it'll be something to watch for this game, see how it affects these ladies' bowls. This looks like a really good opener for Melanie. Yeah, just about 2 feet short. Like another yard on that one. Janice should make a good correction here. Yeah, about a yard short. She didn't seem to have a problem with the line. So Melanie would probably switch over to forehand. That front ball should be in her way. She's a little nervous about pushing it. Janice says don't want to do that, and it's a pretty open draw on the forehand, so she's going to switch. Really still would like to add a yard of weight, I think, here. Oh, yeah, she didn't get through it. She knew it as soon as she let it go. Janice had 2 short ones. I'd like to see her. She got the road down. Needs to add a yard at least on this one. Like she's done at least that. Is it going to stop? Kind of drifting through. So Melanie's still holding, and I think she wants to put a better effort on this bowl. Just kind of turns. She'd like to not want to touch this bowl. All right, that's fine. Yeah, just a little short. Obviously narrow. Janice just the one down. And she had a good road the last 2 bowls. Just kind of wants to split the difference on the weight. Should be enough. Just kind of drifting by. Melanie should still be holding the one. She's wondering if she's down, but I think she's holding. Let's see what Mary's right there. So she sets the measure but favors her. Wants to be a little careful. Doesn't want to come cranking through there, and that'll be her tendency with 3 short bowls. She can afford to be a little positive on the other hand, but main thing is not to. She's been short and narrow, so she really, yeah, she's going to do it again. So the measure for the one, but we have a couple of odd angles with the cameras and then where we're sitting, so I think it's feeling pretty good about it being Melanie's, but we'll see who ends up picking the jack. Yeah, she's giving it to Mel, so one for Melanie, so she'll get on the board. It's but Bell 2, Vizenor 1 after 2, going to 18 points. Melanie pulled the mat up a little bit, but put it in the ditch. And Janice is going to put the mat back kind of where she liked it. And we'll see her kind of go back to that kind of medium longish. Yeah, as you can see there, just shy of the tee. So, and again, mat up a little bit, but all right, here's Mills first. Pretty good effort here. Just a couple feet short. Janice short and narrow. Again, like I said, I think the ladies in the last game there, they were trying both the forehand and backhand, but after a few hands, after about 5 or 6 hands, they pretty much exclusively were going backhand, 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 both right-handers. So they were not getting a lot of play on this hand unless it was really forcing them to because of the situation of the head. But we'll see if these ladies. Well, Melanie has no problems there. Maybe a foot short at most. Two pretty solid bowls. I think she'd prefer to have them both behind, but it's still pretty good. Let's see Janice, see if she can make this correction here. She can afford to be positive. She's got a couple balls she can hit. That would help her out as long as she's up. Yeah, it's a good bowl there. Nothing wrong with that. And most of the yard behind in a good position. Mill's going to stick with the forehand. There's a case to be made for coming backhand, but I can understand she's had two pretty solid bowls on the forehand here. Prefer that she doesn't come across the head. It'd be better if she stayed high. And you can see all four of those bowls have come across the head. They played it too narrow, and she's played this one narrow as well. Probably should be two here. Janice, of course, is going to play this hand. She could have the same weight, tick that jack, and get it right back to her own. There it comes. Not far away. Oh, yeah. Great bowl there by Janice. She should be holding one at least with the last delivered bowl. Getting Melanie's asking Mary Thompson or marker here is what the score is. Wanted to measure. That's what good. My eyes are not failing me. That's what I guess it would be. Again, the great camera work by Steve. Give you a nice angle there of everything. Ramel probably just wants to draw. She can afford to be a little positive. Just coming to those blue balls would be good. She could, if she happens to come narrow with weight, she could tap her own up. Really no business being short, being wanting to measure down. Just needs to get there. Right on this bowl would be great. There it is. Should be enough. Keeps waiting for it to fall over. Didn't quite do it, but it should be in. Janice is going to try and follow on the forehand, do the same thing, kind of complete the caterpillar. You'd see like the bulls in a line like that, call it like a caterpillar, just another body section. So if she could do that as well, then she'll have it or come underneath. She's not far away. Oh, unlucky. Great bowl, though. Nice head by the ladies. Other than that first one, Jan, those are all pretty solid. It should be one more for Melanie to tie this at 2 after 3 ends. It's got the makings of a good game. And all the ladies played the forehand and were pretty close to the center line. I mean, not off too much. So, I mean, things might have changed from the morning. You know, bowls are different that people are playing. Also, the conditions are a little different when it was kind of overcast, and now the greens had a chance to get some sun on it, warm up a little bit. So, could be they're just a little more playable than it was this morning. This is a far cry from the first day. The ladies had qualifying on the first day, playing the fours, and it was raining pretty significantly during the first match, and they had to stop twice apparently because of the heavy rain before it finally cleared off later on in the day. But now it was just some wisps of clouds you can see in the background. That's about all there is. Nice and sunny, and it should be like this the rest of the day. All right, Melanie's trying to go long again. Just keeps the jack in play this time. So there he'll set it right on the tee. And she's going to go for the backhand. So this is usually what you see is they see players find the line on one hand and then stick with it. So usually what you see is like forehand, one side, backhand, the other side. So you're playing the same stretch of grass. So it was kind of unusual for the ladies in the last game to just do nothing but backhand. But that's pretty good bowl there, Ramel. Again, I'm a little more forgiving of being short when you're playing onto the tee. So she's only about a foot short here. So that's a pretty good bowl. I'd like to see Janice's first bowl be a little sharper. She's been kind of just a bit usually kind of short. So let's see if she can have a better effort for her first one here. Yeah, same again. Just kind of very short, at least 3 yards. Micro adjustment here by Mel. Is it going to make it? Yeah, that's about 5 feet short there. Yeah, Janice is switching over to the forehand now. Interesting. I wonder if she's just not feeling it with the backhand. The main thing is just try and have her weight. She's just going to hit her own, I think, a little, and then what? Yeah, just kind of missed the line anyway. She was pretty narrow with that one, I think. It was going to come across the head. All right. I haven't seen anybody get past the jack yet. And we're still not going to. Again, Melanie, a couple yards short. Janice was pretty close with the weight. I think she maybe at most need another yard. She really needs to make sure she takes the grass, gets around those front two blues. She's going to get a little fortunate rub there. It's going to get in for second shot at least. Not exactly the head of dreams here. 6 short bowls. Let's see, Miller can make this corner here and come all the way in. She got it in for second. Still a couple feet short, but in for 2. I wonder if Janice is going to give up on the forehand here, or if she's going to try it again. Just really hooked on her these last 2. And there is a draw to be made on the backhand. There's a lot of room there between the 2 bowls. And anything within a yard will get you a second shot at least. Of course, she's got a little backstop. She does go forehand and she gets the grass, even if she hits Melanie's. And at least she'd cut it down to 1. She's stick with this forehand. Just really needs to take the grass. That's the thing that's been kind of hurting her in the last couple. More grass this time. Just needs to slip that. It's going to hit the jack. It's a good effort. Nice bull, Janice. That's well done. Should be enough for a shot, I think. First bowl that got to the jack or behind ends up being the shot. So one for Janice to break the tie. Stop Melanie's mini streak of 2 ends in a row. It's 3-2 after 4. Sure, Janice pulled the mat up, maybe 2 yards. Probably do something similar with the jack of being about 3 or 4 yards short, what she had been doing. And kind of going all the way to the tee here. It's kind of more what Melanie was doing. She might like it. All right, let's see if Janice got a good first ball. He's been kind of consistently short with this first one. And she's made some good adjustments and like to start off a little stronger. This looks much better than her other efforts. Yeah, that's really good there. And see, she didn't waste a lot of time. She didn't really, see some players are just like, oh, what's the score? And, she just get the mat down, roll the jack. She had just rolled a stun, really good bowl to take the end. Didn't want to waste any time, get up there and roll. All right, Melon's going to go backhand here. Just, I think far too much grass. It's going to be on the corner or near the corner of the rink. Janice is one thing I've seen with Janice over the years. She is really, really good at adjusting. Yeah, here's another one. Her first one was not bad, and her second one's better. Janice has been there, done that, and she's got the medal. Our Melanie's going to stick with the backhand, make her own correction. Down a couple here. And a better shot here. This is really nice here by Mel. Oh, boy, I thought that was going to take another little roll, like finish in there. Mary's having a look. Yeah. Kind of looks like a measure with Janice is laying down and Mel's on the burning surface. It's probably just wants to, she's switching over. Yeah, I could see that. I was wondering if she was going to switch or try and press her own. She just stopped it to switch. She really wants to keep her weight. She could hit the inside of Mel's or come all the way to the jack. Just came up short there. Mills undeterred. She's not worried about it. It's not in her line. It's on that side of the green, but it's not in her line. So she's not worried about it at all. She didn't even hesitate with the hand selection. And if she plays it right, it shouldn't be in her way anyways. Just wants to come off her own, if anything. Just a little tip and come in or go clean right to there. That's a great shot. 2 beauties there. That last one's definitely a shot. Janice is sticking with the backhand. Needs to dive underneath this orange one. I think she's a little heavy. All right, so Mel is definitely holding. and a measure. So she probably wants to do the same exact thing. I'd say she came right to the jack. If anything, she finished narrow than the center line and was easily around that blue bull. It didn't affect her at all having that blue one in front. She was not worried about it at all. Definitely not in a road. And there's another stunner by Mel. That's two beauties there. Great bowling. Smell get back on the board again with at least two and maybe three. Try and keep an eye and see if the players indicate. Yeah, three it was. So three for Melanie. Great end there. Going up 5-3 after five. Playing to 18 points. All right, see what Mel's going to try this time. She's been going long, and I don't know if Janice was kind of played her length, maybe because she liked it and played it pretty well. So, but Mel's back to being long, maybe at most 2 feet short of the tee here. Probably a healthy 4 feet short there. Haven't really seen any. I mean, it's been a purely draw game so far. Haven't really seen anybody kind of playing anything with any kind of weight or making any conversions. Been pretty much, with weight or anything, it's been pretty much a draw game. And there's Janice with a excellent, excellent starting bull there. Mill needs, guess she's interesting. She's going to go forehand here. Try and come around her own bull, I'm sure. See if she can get to Janice's front bull. But she's going to be playing this narrow, unfortunately. It seems to be the tendency. They seem to be missing into this little quadrant here, and like it's get a little more turn. Weight was okay, just a couple feet short at most. Janice doesn't want to do anything different. If anything, you can afford to add a foot or two. Yep. And she's at about a yard. That's a pretty good position, though. Yeah, I wonder if Mel's going to switch this time. Yeah, looks like she's going to stick with that backhand now. Go back to the backhand, rather. He's wide open on that side. Don't have to worry about it. She had the line pretty good. Trying very hard here. Nice effort. Very solid second. Freed her up a little bit. All right, Janice got one in the jack, one in the back. This looks really nice here. Is it going to finish all the way? Close to a second. Yeah. Mary thinks it's probably two. Just gonna back to the forehand now. Really needs to make sure she takes the grass. She can come off her own, slide underneath those front two bulls, but she's got to get around her own front one. And she's done that and gobbled the jack up. And it just happened to slip past Janice's that Janice had in the back there. That's good. That's good. Yeah. There you go. You can see how close it is. So Janice is going to now go to her backhand, see if she can get around that front bull that you see and come all the way to the shot bull, or rather the jack. Got to get going. Got to get going. Didn't have the weight. It's Melanie with a great fourth bull. Takes the point there. It's up 6-3 now after 6 ends. I don't know if it was necessarily what Melanie was trying to do. I mean, she didn't want to be short for sure, but it wasn't really set up to kind of have a heavy shot. Really was kind of more set up for a draw, but and especially with Janice having a catcher there, she kind of got a little fortunate, or Janice got a little unlucky that it kind of glanced. You didn't get to see it because it went off screen, but the jack kind of bounced into Janice's bowl, but then kept kind of going. It just kind of barely ticked it as it went by. And then Mel's bowl happened to follow it around and missed that bowl. So I think Mel will take it, though. So again, we're 6 ends in of 2025 Southwest Open women's singles. And this is one of the two second flight semifinals. All right. They're pretty consistent pulling that mat up a couple yards, and then, but this time a little shorter with the jack, a couple yards short of it, of the tee this time. I always wonder if it's something because it's Melanie had a kind of a marathon game against Rose Selby that she happened to unfortunately lose, but then she just had kind of a quick lunch break, maybe half an hour, and then they're back on the green. Whereas Janice played Julia, and that was over relatively quickly. Then Janice has been kind of sitting around for a while, so I just wonder what's better, what's not. So, yeah, it's just sometimes you could get in a rhythm and want to stay in a rhythm, but there's also fatigue, being able to rest. So, Mill a little short, Janice kind of heavy, couple of 2.5 yards through. Mill's about 5 feet short. Again, it's kind of a slightly different distance, so both need to make their adjustments here. It's going to keep traveling. It's going to keep traveling. Pretty good correction there by Mel. Again, both these ladies kind of playing the forehand here, not really having a problem like the ladies were experiencing this morning. Janice really just wants to slide underneath that one. I don't know if she'll get it if she comes all the way around. It's a good position though. That second shot. I'm going to see Mel do the same. She can play on her own. Now she's got kind of three things to hit, really. Be good for her to add a yard. She can come to Janice's bowl or the shot bowl or the jack. All good. Even coming clean with the yard would be helpful. Yeah, she added the weight, just kind of missed the line a bit. Janice is switching over now. It's interesting. I guess I wonder if she's going to try and go underneath or around that ball in front. I think she's going to go around it and hoping to make the turn. You can see she missed it by a fair margin, and yet still made it all the way in. Oh, it just fell the wrong way. Another solid second for Janice. I think Mel will play the same hand. Probably the same weight would be good, I think. She's got to be a little dicey. Yeah, she's just switching over. She's switching over anyways to the backhand. Just a little safer. With that bowl there of Janice's, she's worried about flicking the jack to her. So I think she'll follow the same path that you saw Janice play. And I think she's come up a little narrow, but got a pretty good promotion on her own. She hit that square. Might be two. Janice is going to have a look. I don't know if that's what Melanie was trying. I could see it was a kind of a two-way. She could either promote that ball or come all the way to the back, because Janice did have a shot to come right up the middle if she chose choose to kind of drag that jack back for three. And it's still really on for Janice if she wants to. She could afford to. I wonder if forehand would be the play between the two bowls, pick up the jack and drag it. At least two, maybe three. She could hit the inside half of the shot bowl, the nearest one, and have it redirect and get the same result. Little guide there. I think if she went forehand, it'd be either one of those. There's anything in that pocket would be pretty positive for her, and that's what she's going to try. She's trying the forehand here. A lot of good options for her on this if she gets it away and has a nice weight. Just kind of overcooked it. And that's far too heavy for what she was trying. So Mel will score again. Pretty sure it's two. Waiting for a signal from the ladies. Yeah, two. So 8-3 now for Melanie Vizenor. 3 ends in a row. 5 of the last 6. Singles can be a very streaky game. So it's never over. It's only over when you get to that 18th point. And Melanie's sticking with this kind of long, a couple yards up, a couple yards short on the jack and the mat. It's going to be short here. All right, Janice's first bowl has been much better of late. Last few ends, she's had really good, controlled it pretty nicely. So see if she could do it again here. Looks pretty good again. Yeah, it's a pretty good opener. About a yard short. I'd like her to be a yard through. Let's see if I'll make the correction. She's going to go over to the forehand. Really doesn't need to. She could play the backhand if she wants. It's not in her way, but sometimes you just want to switch because you just kind of like when you throw kind of a blank. But I think this hand's been playing much wider, so it's the just seems to be really hooking a lot. And it's been pretty consistent when somebody's played a first bowl on that hand. It just seems like it's kind of short and narrow. Janet's not even hesitating, just going to try and add a yard to her first one. Yeah, this is really, really well done. Again, just the spectacular adjustments from Janice Bell. Always had a couple blanks here, but now she can make a correction off of her first on this hand. It's trying really hard. It's going to finish all the way. Trying really hard. Great bull there. Really well done. Now Janice might switch over. Yeah. Yeah, she's going to come forehand. Probably nice positives. No shorter than her last bowl. Jacker bowl here. Have it come around. She can hit the jack or hit the bull, and that'd be really good for her. Not far away. Got the bull sitting right on her for a shot. That's really well done. Great bull. Kept the same weight as her last one. She didn't add to it. I mean, it was pretty similar to the same weight. And now she's in great position. Like Melanie was trying to go up the middle with some weight here to try and change things up. But, not a great effort. Now Janice, this is interesting. She could, yeah, she's going to stick with this hand. She could also play the backhand and just come to Mel's bowl and rest it out, but she could do that also from this hand. Just come a little narrow across the head. Hitting it on the inside. Yeah, that's real nice too. That's a great shot. That was the other thing I was getting to. She, with weight, she could have played it like that or been across the head and hit Mel's bowl. But that's really well done there to get a big number and get a 3. Just what Janice needed. So 3 for Bell there to go cut into the lead, make it 8-6 Vizenor. Playing 18 points, but it's 8 ends down and 8-6. Actually, the ladies seem to be pretty content to stick with the same length. They're having a little discussion with the cards, make sure they got the right scores here. And Janice is opting to go long. Just kept it in, so that'll be on the tee. And again, that first bowl of Janice has been really good. It's been really helping her out. She finally got a chance to get a score out of it. She kind of laid off this one a bit, though. And it's a healthy couple yards. She's not happy. I think they're discussing the scoreboard here, making sure they get the right score. Better to do it now than to wait to get to the last end and go, oh no, that's not what I had. You know, when somebody gets to 15 or 16. Better to keep it and communicate the whole way. All right. A lot of room to draw here for Mel. Looks like a pretty good opener here. A little zesty. Yeah, a little too zesty. That's all the way in the ditch. Janice, just add a couple yards here. This looks pretty good. Another great adjustment by Janice. That's really good. Wow. So Mel's going to just stick with this backhand, just trying to take the weight off. Looks really good. Great bull there by Melanie. Great bull. You'll see Janice follow her, try and do the same thing and try and keep that caterpillar going. Just overcooked this one. Yep, into the ditch. Well, interesting. Well, it's going to try it again. I mean, there's cases for both sides. She's got a little bit of danger if she comes around, but she just played a really good bull, so it's really hard to get away from. But it is probably a better play if all things were equal to come on the forehand. That way she could come to her own bull or she could come across into the jack. But having just played a great bull, she's opting to just do it again. Just kind of left it out. Just a little short. All right. Last one for Janice. Down one in the head. And if anything, Mel left her a little guide. Janice hits the inside half of that bowl. It'll redirect in and come in for shot. But she's too heavy and gone all the way around it. So now let's see what Mel wants to do. There's not Janice is stayed up, so that kind of changes things. So Janice is just sitting on the plinth. If that wasn't there, then Mel might be one a little bit more positive. But Mel could play on the forehand, come to her own bowl, like we described, like I described the last time. She could hit it with like a yard of weight. The blue bowl will go away, and she'll sit for three. She's definitely holding one now. The issue with playing the backhand, she could come off her own. It's got to be dicey, especially on a faster green like this artificial. The jack will tend to move, and because that bowl's kind of locked into the jack, and that jack moves 2 feet, then she'll be giving it away. Let's see what she's going to do. Yeah, she's going to go the forehand here. I think that's a proper play. It's just no real danger with just like a yard overweight. I mean, Janice has got the best back, but it's all the way on the plinth. So if Mel's got just a yard over and hits that bull, then it should pop the blue out and it's not going to push it in. Yeah, she had the good weight, I think. I think that was the way to do it. Maybe another couple feet, but it'll be one more for Mel. So 9-6 after 9. Mel's halfway to the 18. Yeah. I've known both these ladies for a long time. Janice traveled with Team USA, going places. She's been a fixture on Team USA for as long as I've been bowling, and the dates before that. Just a solid, solid player, great person, great teammate. Melanie, it's been an umpire forever. Got my training from her. We're an umpire, national umpire in chief now for Bowls USA. Met her way back in the day. I took my marker training from her. Janice was actually a vice president ahead of me when I was in the Bulls USA president vice president chain, but her work was getting too busy for her. She couldn't keep her commitment, so she stepped away, and I filled up a little sooner than normally planned. But she's given a lot to the sport as well. Two great ladies, two great bowlers. All right, see how what kind of first bowls we get here. Yeah, Mel tried to. Yeah, I don't know if she just got it away bad or just a weird line. Not, that's a couple of yards short and very narrow. I think she just took way too much grass. Didn't get a good pass on it either. And the door's open now for Janice. Again, Janice is now really starting to get her first ball in. That's really, really awesome there. Position A. So the thing, Janice, I mean, it's only she's had like the more quality bowls of late, but Melanie's had like that one really good bowl, and that's what's kept her kept her in this. But Janice is starting to get more and more consistent. Her first bowl's in there. She's making good adjustments. And Melanie's got the lead, but I think on the whole, Janice is playing just a touch better. We'll see how it evens out. And Melanie's been kind of having this happen to her, just a couple blanks. And it's very short and narrow again. And she's just been able to come through with a stellar bowl. Like she almost needs to make a miss and then get battered herself so that she can get a great one in. Janice got a chance to really put some pressure on her here. Yeah, not bad. Kind of protecting the hand a little bit. I don't think that's what she'd be trying to do. I think she'd be better off playing a yard through and be behind. And Melanie's kind of doing the military right, left, right here. See if she gets a better stroke on it. And this is the problem when you kind of do this right, left, right, is you kind of can't really get the line. Better weight though, of course. But I'm not quite sure if that's second. Doesn't affect what Janice is going to do, so she's just going to stick with that line and keep her rhythm and just try and play through her second bowl. Neither promote or float around it, I think. And around it goes. Yeah, solid position. Can't quite tell whether it's one or two, frankly. Well, it's got the weight. Just needs to take a little more grass. She might be a little leery because her first one there just really hung on her. This looks like a pretty good road here. Trying very hard here. Trying very hard here. That's that's a nice effort. I like the weight. All right, Janice, now just another draw. I don't think she needs to move her own too much in front. There's definitely room to draw, but I think she's come out very heavy here. All right, well, give it a minute. We'll see how many. Janice is going to get on the board again. as the ladies continue to trade ends. Try and keep an ear out and see what they say. All right, just one for Janice. So they trade ones, and now it's 9-7. Oh, it's interesting because Janice, well, she hasn't, and she didn't. Yeah, Janice won 4 of the 10 ends, but frankly, on the whole, she's been playing just a little bit better as far as more consistency, with more bowls in the head. But Melanie's been had a couple of spectacular shots. So that's why I don't think you'll see either one of them. I mean, Melanie's been scoring, so why would she change? But Janet's been getting more bowls in the head, so why should she change? And she just trickles into the ditch. So now it'll be Melanie's mat, and she'll probably take the mat out a little bit. Oh, she's taken out a fair amount. Interesting. This will be something different here. So for both of the ladies, it's a healthy 6 yards out, I think. Looks like she's trying to get it to the tee or close to it. Yeah. Yeah, maybe about 5 feet short. All right, see if Janice can keep the streak up of having the good footer bowls, even with this different mat position. Yep, it continues. Unfazed. About a foot short is all. Great line. And it's usually what you're trying to do when you're trying to pull the mat up is trying to get your opponent to have to find a different line. With Janice, like it's just she's been around the block. You're not going to do anything to phase her really. And you can see it just even Melanie's just like a little slight hesitation because that's one of the things when you could put that first ball in. Now you got your opponent kind of got extra thinking to do. Melanie really wants to be up. She's had a few that have been short with that first ball. This is really well done as well. It's a pretty good opener there. Just missed her line, but pretty good. Janice wasting no time. Just wanted to do it again. Floated around her own. Yeah, it's good here. Right to the tee. Some people might not know what the tee is. The tee is the 2 meter mark. So that's that tee you see that Janice Bowl just finished next to is where we mark the 2 meters from the end of the rink. So that's where the jack gets set if it happens to go out either side or over the top of the bank. And that's a minimum distance of where a jack could be or where the mat needs to be pulled. And we call it the tee because of that marking that you do with the tee. Good bowl there by Mel. I like that. We're wanting to, hopefully she was going to get a jack or bull there. She finished on the correct side of the green. Just didn't quite pick it up, went right around. Janice like to see her keep staying positive. Just wanted to get back to that first weight. Interesting spot there. Second shot, pretty good bowl. Melanie's got a decision to make. I wonder if she's going to be a little more. Melanie's not afraid to be aggressive and play with some weight if she needs to. But she's probably looking to draw around both blue bulls here. I don't think she's going to make it, though. Looks narrow. Pretty good weight, though. Pretty good weight. Kind of saved her. Still might be just one. They seem like, is it one or two? Janice doesn't know. Janice doesn't care because she's just going to keep playing her shot that she doesn't affect her shot. Because it doesn't affect her shot, she's not even going to bother to ask. She's just going to go. More people need to do more of that. And look at this. And look at the result. Great shot. Second shot for sure. So again, a lot of people like, oh, I don't know, is it one or is it two? You know, and does it affect your shot? If it doesn't, then why bother? Why bother knowing? And it didn't affect what Janice was going to do. She was just going to draw again. It affects what Melanie's going to do. So Melanie really wants to know. Should be two. Don't know if it's three, though. Again, even look at the heads, the way they've been set up. And see Janice has been consistently getting more bulls in the head. She hasn't been winning the ends because Melanie's been getting like a one excellent shot or a good conversion. But on the whole, as far as drawing, Janice has been the better. And that's why, like for a Team USA person, that's what you want. You want somebody who's going to get a lot of balls in the head. Interesting choice here. Trying to come with a backhand, see if she can clear those front two bulls, I think. Yeah, I just kind of ran into him, and I don't think she must have thought she was three down, so it should be two. I mean, a pretty good bull by Mel. That's the kind of bull that you would roll if you were three down. Take on one and look at the second. I mean, the angle looked pretty good, like it was two. Pretty sure it's two. So two for Janice. So that'll make it 9-all after 11. Both players are halfway to 18. In this 2025 Southwest Open Women's Pairs Second Flight Semifinal. Brought to you by Arrow Bowls USA. Arrow Bowls, same line every time. Thank you for your sponsorship, Arrow Bowls. They've given us a nice little tent, which is much appreciated. I'm not getting the sunburn or the wind blasting on our faces. And all our equipment is staying down, and we're not having to worry about that either. All right, here's Janice's first. Her first bowl has just been really lights out. She's very much figured out the green now. And you can see just constantly putting the pressure on with that first bowl. You can see how much much more difficult it makes it for her opponent when she's putting that first bowl in. And it's getting kind of tired, where the first bowl was like maybe 5 feet away, then it was 4 feet, and it was 3 feet. Now it's consistently 2 feet or less for her. And then she's just building off it. And before she was adjusting and getting how she get that first bowl in. Well, like I said, she hasn't been scoring because Melanie's been putting a good one in here or there, but over the long haul, it's going to favor Janice, and now she's crawled all the way back to tie this at 9. There's a good opener by Melanie. It's going to make it all the way. Almost solid opener, though. Janice just wants to do something very similar, no shorter. I think thought process should be no softer. Just play through her own bowl. Yeah, another great shot. Very nicely done. Another bowl in the head. I don't know if Mel's got there. Yeah, it took a little. Had the line. Yeah, she know. Yeah, how the, she knows it. That was beautiful. Let's see what Janice got here. What she can do for an encore. Is she gonna stick with that weight? Keep coming all the way down. Yeah, again, another bull. That's probably the shot. She could be up 3 right now. And Mel's going to switch over from the backhand. And she could play backhand again if she wants to. She really doesn't need to switch, but she just figured out the line. Danger here is to come up short and narrow like she's been doing with that first ball in this forehand, and I think she's done it again. It just seems to be a tendency. They're switching over to the forehand, and then she comes up short and narrow, and she really didn't need to switch, frankly. She might have been worried about that blue one in front, the one that Janice just rolled and hitting it, but she didn't really need to be, I don't think. Janice doesn't want to do anything different. Just keep doing, or another one in the head. Just slide right past this, right behind. Look at that. She's got it boxed in. 4 spectacular bowls, nothing more than 2 feet away. That's some great bowling by Janice Bell. I'm putting a lot of pressure on Melanie. It's almost like a drill that we do with Team USA guys. Just put a bowl and put a jack in a box and see what you can do. Guess what I call that drill? Jack in a box. Yeah, she's done it again. Short and narrow, I think. Or at least narrow. She's going to have to hit something. No, she didn't. Well, it's going to be a pretty good sized number, I think, for Janice. We'll see how many she's going to get out of this. I like Mel's weight. I mean, that was fine, but you really want to try and get a piece of it. In my mind, that's the solution to jack of the box is you're just kind of drawing through. If you hit one of the bowls, you'll cut it down. I'm going to have to get an Iggy on what the score was on that one. Steve. And, Steve had gotten up anyways, and since he was standing, Gary, what did you said? You sent him off? What was it for? Wow. So the max for Janice going to a big 13-9. So it's 1, 2, and 4 in the last 3 ends, and absolutely controlling the heads of late. She's even rolling the jack on the center line. You have these moments sometimes where just everything's just going right, everything's going your way. And the best thing to do is just keep a nice steady pace. Don't slow down. Just keep rolling it while you're on feeling the jazz. While you're in the zone, stay in the zone. And you can see Janice do it again. Nothing more than 2 feet away from her opener. Not bad by Melanie, but Janice is setting a new standard here. Yeah, this don't have a real big problem with this. Is for her to just be playing solid. She get to the tee. Probably a little heavier than she wanted, but she didn't want to be short. And that's the other thing you see is she's had nothing shorter than 2 feet also during this nice little run of hers. Melanie just needs to add a yard. She can hit that ball. That'll help her. Unlucky. Kind of just turned it over. Put Janice in actually a better position now. All right, Melanie hits the inside half of that ball. She'd be in for shot. She happens to hit it a little too square, or the outside rather. There's Janice again. Yeah, another just exceptional bowling by Janice Bell. Melanie's got this little wall that you could use in front. She could hit and redirect if she's got the weight. Just a little short. Probably still two down. Again, is it one or two? Janice doesn't care. You think she cares? She's just going to put another ball in the head. Just got to slip past these. Then she can use the wall. Hits her own, knocks it up. Probably three. Yep, it's three. I mean, Melanie's not playing bad, but Janice is just on a different level in these last 5 or 6 ends or so. Almost like she was just running in second gear and said, "Yeah, that's enough." All right. Well, does have an opportunity to draw, and she does have this little wall she can come into if she needs to be, if she's got the weight. Really wants to hit the inside of this bowl. That'll do it for her. Yeah, well done, Mel. And even fell back against the bias after that carom. I saw the visual sigh. Pretty sure it's one for Mel, but the angles can be deceiving. But again, you can see how Janice is putting more bulls in the head, and it's paying off over the last few ends. Melanie's having to make that conversion with her last. Yeah, one for Melanie. Stops the streak. So it's Bell 13, Vizenor 10 after 13 ends. Playing to 18 in this 2025 Southwest Open Women's Singles Second Flight Semifinal. Melanie's going to, recognizing that Janice is just crushing it, is wisely deciding to do something different with the mat. She's pulled it pretty far up. Now it's, can she get the jack in? Janice wants to take a look. See, this is a, I mean, she's got it so far up, but she just wants to take a look and see if it's too far up. It looks like it's could be close. This jack length measure brought to you by Arrow Bowls USA. Same line every time. They've got over 65 colors, 12 models, half sizes, and any logo you desire. Arrow Bowls. Thank you for your sponsorship, Arrow Bowls. Here's the verdict. Mary says it's good. So Mel was able to change it up. Now it's just hoping that she can execute. Game's very much still within reach, and sometimes it just takes a little thing like this, just changing that jack length to give, trying to take somebody else off of their off of their mark. Hopefully it's something that you can play better. All right. And the other thing that'll help you, Mel, is if you get the first one in. Because Janice has been the one that's been putting pressure on Mel, and Mel, I think, wants to flip the script and be the one to put the pressure on Janice by getting her first one in. This is very much a new line and distance here. Yeah, they didn't quite make it. Yeah, very short there. But Janice has got the mask on now. Well, I guess it did work. Instead of her being 2 feet away, she's 3 feet away. But that's just her first one. Mel's going to try again, this backhand, and see if she can put a little bit better pass. This looks pretty good here. That's a much, much better stroke there. And a good home. Great bowl there by Mel. And Janice, doesn't waste any time. How far behind is it below? She's just getting into it, going right after it. Just wants to be behind, playing it through, trying to get to the jack or the bull. She's not far away. Yeah, look, just dead draws it. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. Again, it because her bull fell away though, and Mel was so close, and it kind of just touched a little closer. And it's saying it's a measure, but she thinks it favors Melanie. With it laying like that, I don't know. I'm not so sure, but definitely Mary had a better look, obviously, than I do back in the cheap seats here. Yeah, this is not what Melanie wanted. Oof. She went back to that first weight. Now it just frees it up for Janice. She might be holding. She's at least got a good second. She can afford to be nice and positive, trying to play it through. Any action's going to help her. Just a little narrow. They're both going to come and take a look now. Again, usually when you have two bulls like this, I think I said it before, amazed how many times it happens where the bull that's on the running surface loses to the bull that's laying flat because the belly's kind of sticking out and it's a little deceiving when you look at it. You normally would say, well, they're close, but then you get over it and it's that much closer. So if that holds, then Janice would be the one that would be holding. And Mel's got to be careful because she could easily go 4 down again. At the very least, there's a 3 there. Again, the power of having the back bulls of Janice as opposed to the short bulls of Melanie. I was going to stick with his forehand. Really needs to finish the stroke and not come up short like she did the last time. Just a little drag on the jack or a little touch on the blue bull would be good. She's rooting for it to stop. Yeah, and that was the danger of coming that way with that weight. And she almost assuredly gave it away. Yeah, it was a measure before, but we'll never know because she pushed that one away. And I don't think she sat close enough. Yeah, you can see that. Frustration, disgust, you pick your emotion there. Well, she sure played her like she was down, that's for sure. Now it'll be interesting to see what Janice does. I mean, she just did cold draw it, and she doesn't want jack movement here and give it right back over to Mel. Wouldn't shock me. I mean, it's a good place to just be wide. Yeah, Mel even accused her of being a chicken. And Janice going, yeah, you bet I am. Oh. So one for Janice there, and back up 14-10. And Janice is now in that sweet spot of any end can be a last end. And just when I thought my headache was going away, the resurfacing on the Laguna Woods pool has continued. And it's driven Gary to put his headphones on. Steve just has to suffer. Or you could just turn your hearing aids off. Yeah, that wouldn't be. Trust me, if I were you, Adam, it'd be a quick off. So I think Melanie had the right idea with trying something different with the mat length. Or she just left her first bowl; it just was way, way, way too short. And then ultimately, that was the kind of thing that hurt her. Janet's kind of going to a medium length or so. Just kind of playing the backhand. She's just been so solid the last few ends. Yeah, this is not her best effort there. Kind of leaving Melanie an opening. It's a couple yards short. It's about the worst roll Janice has thrown in about 6 or 8 ends or so. All right, open the door for Mel. Yeah, better opener for Mel. I mean, she's probably about 5 feet behind or so. Yeah, Janice again. Even when she was missing early, she was making great adjustments. I expect this to be no different. Yeah, it's good weight. Good weight, just a little off to the side. Mel put that down kind of funny. I got out of her hand a little weird. Let's see what happens. Yeah, just kind of took a lot of distance off. She didn't get that away very nicely. Kind of really almost like she dropped it, frankly. You see, Janice is at most, I think, a foot behind. She'll probably come in just a hair on that last one, I would think. Just finishing underneath between her bowl and the jack. She should be watching to see how much room she's got around that front bowl. Yeah, she can afford to have a little less grass, but good weight on both of those. I think we're going to get a look-see to see who's actually holding. Nothing particularly close. One down, according to Mary Thompson, our marker here. Hermel's going to switch over to the forehand. Really doesn't want to get wrecked on that front blue ball if she sticks with that. It shouldn't be in a road, and it's a healthy couple yards short, so it should be going right around it. Is it going to make it all the way? Yeah, that's all right. Still about a yard short. I'm not sure who's holding. I guess it's the last ball's in. And again, it doesn't. I'm not sure. Janice can't be sure from where she's at, so but it doesn't change her shot. She's still just wanting to draw, so she's not even going to bother to ask. Anything that comes off that bowl would be good. A little action, sit right behind the jack. And it fell in the correct way. It's going to be interesting. See, I don't like the way Janice plays. See, Janice just like didn't. Yeah, Mary says it's the measure. Janice, was she down one? Was she holding one? She didn't care. She just, it didn't affect her shot. She was going to stick with that hand and just play it. She didn't need to go down and look at it. She didn't want to see the picture. She didn't need to. She had a path to the jack, knew her bowls, and just went down and rolled it. Well, let's see if Melanie gets her stick with the forehand, trying to just improve upon her last, but I think, yeah, she just overcooked it. You could just see it make it to the picture at the bottom there. So, well, it's a measure, so we'll see who it is that ends up holding this one. Going for the tape here. And this measure, oh, wrong. Oh, brought to you by Aero Bowls USA. Aero Bowls USA, same line every time. It'll get you any logo that you want. And they have those half sizes available for you. Thank you to for your sponsorship, Aero Bowls. In the championship match, we know one of the players. I just saw a flyby by Julia Gallo, so she will be one of our players. In the one of the members of the women winning pairs Southwest Open pairs teams is Julia Gallo, and so she's gonna be one of the singles players in the championship match that we'll see after this match. All right, so Melanie is the one that ends up getting the point there after the measure. So Melanie cuts in a little bit of lead, and now Bell 14, Vizenor 11. Playing to 18 points. But any end could be the last end. All right, again, you like to see Melanie get there first. The last end by Janice was the first end she's missed in a while. Yeah. Just a couple yards short there with that first one. I think Janice will be inside that. She hasn't missed by that much in quite a while with her first bowl. But she has this time. Both ladies will need to make an adjustment here. If Melanie's going to make it. Only about a foot further. Janice is not really worried about it. I think she's sticking with this forehand, sticking with this grass, and just going to come between the two. She needs 2 yards here. She's probably going to get her own and probably push it all the way in for a shot. Well, not necessarily what she was trying to do. I think she wanted a clean draw, and it was pretty good weight, frankly. I think with that weight between the two bowls of Melanie, it would have been in there close. But as it is, got a shot. Melanie's going to try this gap and see if she can make it through. She needs to add this 4 feet rather. Well, she's going to hit the jack, just miss. That's too heavy, all the way to the back.
So,
All right.
Scott, the championship flight will be Nunes versus Gallo.
Don't know if you heard Gary said that Ann Nunes ended up winning her match. So our championship match that we'll have after this one will be another classic battle between Ann Nunes and Julia Gallo for the women's single title. The last two women's singles champions and also the two skips that faced up in the women's pairs. I think you can make a great argument they're 1-2, 2-1 as far as women players in this country, and they'll be facing off again in singles. Well, Janice was fairly heavy, and then Melanie again is short and just way offline. Not what she wanted at all. I think Janice is switching over now, looking to try and promote her own with her fourth. Really just wants to try and get the weight right. She hasn't necessarily had her right. I think she's got it with this one. Going to slide right underneath. There it is. Yeah. Good ball by Janice. Should be two there. I think there might be worth looking at that third one in the back, but I don't think it will be in there. We're going to look at the second one back. Well, there's one definitely out for Janice. They're just looking at the second one. And it's just a little bit of a weird angle, I guess, from where we're at. They're going to get the tape out. This measure brought to you by Aero Bowls USA. Like all our measures today, Aero Bowls, same line every time. Aero also has luxury bowls bags specifically designed for lawn bowling. Thank you for your sponsorship, Aero Bowls, sponsoring our coverage all week. All right. Two for Janice there. So that gets her within 2 points of winning this match, 16-11. Again, Melanie's kind of had her chances, but Janice has been definitely the more consistent player. Once we got past the kind of the opening rounds of the first 3 or 4 ends, even though Janice was losing, Melanie was having to make a conversion. She was having that one great bowl, which will get you a point here or there, but it just doesn't pay off in the long run. That's why Janice was kind of sticking to her distance she wants to play, and just keep pouring them in, making her adjustments, doing what she does. All right. Well, any end could be the last end. 16-11. Janice just needs a 2. Thanks again to Laguna Woods for hosting us. Following up Newport, who was hosting for the pairs for the women, and Laguna Beach, my home club, for hosted the fours over the weekend. All right, here's Janice's first bowl. Let's see if she's going to get back into this form of putting it within a couple feet. Yep, I'd say so. Position A right there. We got a little bit of a wind now picking up. It's pretty much directly behind the players right now. Melanie's going to go forehand, probably try a jack or bull shot here, I would think. Definitely wants to make sure she's through and not short. Yeah, I don't mind this weight. Better that than short. And she's got an opportunity with her next one. Janice probably want to do something similar. Definitely don't want to be any shorter. You see what Melanie's trying. Yeah. Yeah, I like this way, Janice. I prefer she would be on the other side of the jack, but that's fine there. And Mel's going to give it another go. Yeah, just kind of flatten it out. She tried to adjust the line, it seemed, that she didn't need to. Yeah, that she really added some weight to it. All right, Janice, probably looking to just get that second one in, get that what would be the match-winning shot in for a count and pretty close, and really put Melanie to the test here. She's got the back covered, so now she just needs one in. And just another stunner and a toucher to that could be the coup de grace right there. So Melanie, this two cannot stand. She's got to get rid of at least one of them. And this is her last bowl. No, she's got one more after this. My mistake. So she's got two cracks at it. But those bulls cannot stand. She's really got to make it move. And she's just far too wide here. Yeah, just too much grass. Well, it'd be interesting to see what Janice does. I mean, she's got two pretty close. I wouldn't come anywhere near it. I'd be coming to those two bulls at the bottom there. Just trying to get a good position bull and staying a heck of the way from the head here. It's set up really nicely for her. She doesn't need to do anything. Anything behind would be good. I don't want to give your opponent an edge here. Well, that's I don't think that's what you'd want. That's a three, and she only needs two. Now the problem with that is Melanie could miss and hit that front bull and a redirect into the head and cut it down. I think she'd be Janice would better serve drawing to those two bulls at the bottom of the screen of Mel's. Now she's kind of given her another opportunity. Mel's going to try but Mel's not going to try and take advantage of her. She's just going to come heavy on the forehand, see if she can hit either the bull or the jack and have it redirect. Again, she could hit the inside half of this bull and have it come in like that, and it nearly did it. So that'd be two for Janice, and that'll be the match. Good bowling by both ladies, but Janice just was superior and especially just walked it out at the end. So they played 17 ends. Janice Bell wins it 18-11. She'll be in the second flight final. So we know the final. That will be next, probably in 20 to 30 minutes, I would say, between Ann Nunes and Julio Gallo. You will not want to miss that, a rematch of their national championship classic, or rather, not the national championship, the qualifier classic. But for Steve Dermontes and Gary Barnes, I'm Scott Roberts. We will see you in about a half an hour.